Hi there, good morning. Beautiful day today. It's slightly overcast, but it's still beautiful. And I am in a contemplative mood this morning. There's a lot going on. Today I move out of my house that I've been in for a year and a half. And the movers come and they take everything out. And there's kind of some mixed feelings about that, because I think whenever you start something, there's certain dreams and ideas sometimes that we have in mind that are going to take place, and sometimes those things don't work out in that way. They work out in another way, not good or bad, just different, just to let us experience the emotions that we have. And so it's kind of interesting. The movers get here in about 20 minutes, and it will be interesting to see this place empty again, because I remember the moments when we moved in. And a lot has happened in the last year. So that's one thing that's going on. And it's interesting how that's happening at the very moment that my book is coming out and that all of this other is taking place. And it just illustrates how there are always birthings when there are endings. And if we can look through to the birthings and realize that the endings are necessary in order to birth, then we can move through it. But we must allow ourselves to feel everything that happens. One of the things that I realized over the week of packing was something that occurred all the time. So I'm going to share something very personal with you. As you can tell, my face is just slightly swollen today. I decided to go in and have a treatment yesterday on my face. There has been some scarring on my face that I've had for many years, and these scars were things that were pointed out on a regular basis to me. And it was something that every time I would look in the mirror, I would see them. And I don't know that they bothered me before, but when they were constantly pointed out, that did. And so now it tends to be something that I constantly see. And as I embark on this new vision, I realized, first of all, when those comments were made, it was obvious now that they were made because that individual couldn't feel good about themselves. But in that moment, I wasn't quite as knowledgeable as I am now. And so I took on a lot of those comments, as many of us do. And we make them our own, and we allow them to pull us down and take us off path. And I did just that. That was probably the beginning of what started to lead towards much of my own dark night of the soul, was letting my mind feed into many of those comments and thoughts outside of me, trying to tell me who I was or what I looked like or what they felt of me. And I took that on rather than realizing that didn't resonate with me. I wouldn't change a thing, because I understand now, that was part of the beautiful journey of the soul. But in going forward in this new experience, I want to feel and look the best that I can. And I felt that this was an important message today to share with all of you, because I think that when there are experiences that we have, if it's something that we can't shake, then we have the right to change it. I'm not one that does a lot of things. I've never been a proponent of much plastic surgery or anything like that. But I do believe that if we need something to give us more confidence or to feel better or to take away certain memories of pain that exist, then it's okay. We should do what feels right for us to feel good about ourselves. And so I wanted to get the scarring removed, and I went in for a procedure, and I wanted to have the opportunity to wake up every morning now, and instead of the first thing I see is the scars, to actually see myself and not remember the comments that were made, even though those comments are not as painful anymore and don't affect me as much. I'm reminded every time I see my face in the morning and I see the scars. So this is a big step for me, because it's something I've lived with for probably 12 to 15 years, and now I'm letting that go too. And I think that's part of it. And as I'm making all of these changes in my life, something's taking place. I had an interview yesterday on World Puja on my show Lighter Side with Monty Farber, who's an amazing man, just hilarious. And You know, he was talking about how he was going through his own shift in his body. He could feel it physiologically. And I'm feeling that as I'm making these very courageous steps, as I'm becoming more vulnerable and sharing, as I'm being open and speaking my truth in this way to really connect heart to heart, and being willing to share by example my journey, there's something physiologically changing inside of me. It's almost as if I'm feeling myself slip into a different bubble of reality, as if there are many bubbles of reality and I had been living in one. And now, because I'm having the vision and courage and desire to rise into something higher and be something different, I've now slipping my own physical body and structure into a new trajectory and a new bubble of time that would have a different outcome, a different experience. And so I just wanted to share that with you, because I want you to, number one, if there's something holding you back because of what someone said or something that's always bothered you, do something to take care of that so that you feel good about yourself and you can move on from that. Don't let that be the excuse that holds you back. Number two, allow yourself to rise higher and dive into things that are really enormous change, because it will not only create a change in your life, this is going to create a change physiologically, cellularly, structurally, energetically, in ways that you don't even know. And it rises you always into a higher bubble of perspective and experience. And most importantly, let yourself be real to those around you. Let yourself open up in that way so that your heart continually opens. That's what it's all about. It's about us opening our hearts. And the larger our heart opens, the more light can fill it. The more light can fill us. And we can move into greater and greater experiences. So thanks for being so loving and so kind. Thank you to those who have bought my book. I really appreciate it. I've got some trailers on my YouTube site that I created that I'm really proud of, that really talk about the book. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for continuing to follow me on the Daily Diary. And hopefully it is allowing you to make your own leaps and changes. And if nothing else, it's letting you know that you've got a friend somewhere else in the world that goes through a lot of the same things you do, that loves you, and is going to be there for you every single day if you decide to come and see me. In love, of love, and with love. I'm Simran Singh, and I'm moving on. I'll see you tomorrow.